Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will speak about web archiving in a multilingual environment. I am Silvia Sevilla, Web Preservation Coordinator at the Publications Office of the European Union. First of all, I would like to give you an overview on the activities of the Publications Office. The Office was established in 1969 to publish the European Union law. Almost immediately, we assumed the role of publisher of any other type of information created by the European Union, and not only the legislation. In 2009, the Publications Office was mandated to provide information management services for all the institutions and bodies. We publish the official journal, general publications in all formats, and we also manage different websites like EURLEX, Open Data, EU Publications, Cordis, TED, or the Who is Who in the European Union. We work in 24 official languages, and this multilingual approach is present in all the services we provide. The treatment of the translations has a synoptic approach. This means that each language version has the same structure and the same number of paragraphs. The versions can be consulted in parallel. In the screen, you can see a clear example of a synoptic multilingual publication. This is an issue of the official journal in 3 languages with identical text structure. Today, the Publications Office is much more than a traditional publishing house. Here you can see the many services provided by the Office for the European institutions. They are all related to production, editing, identification, printing, distribution, access, use and reuse, archiving, and preservation. We work for about 150 author services. The main European institutions, Parliament, Council, and Commission, and others like the European Central Bank, the Court of Justice, the Economic and Social Committee, the Committee of Regions, the Ombudsman, or the European agencies. Next, I would like to speak about the recent constitution of the European Union legal deposit. This is an important step taken by the Office. Until now, we didn't have a schema covering the publications of the EU institutions similar to those national legal deposits that many European countries have. From now on, we will have it and will be coordinated by the Publications Office. The EU legal deposit will collect all the material produced by the European bodies in a comprehensive bibliography. The content will be available in a central catalog and identified with multilingual metadata. This will avoid applications of archives and at the same time will make possible to set a link between the different formats so that the users can find easily, for example, all the material in different formats related to the same topic. Finally, the content will be preserved and available for future generations. The EU legal deposit will be implemented in 3 phases. The first one, already ongoing, is covering publications and websites. In 2022, databases and multimedia material will be included, and in 2023, social media and press releases will be also covered by the legal deposit. Already focusing web archiving, I would like to speak shortly about the evolution of the web preservation service we offer to the European institutions. The concern for the preservation of EU web archives started in 2013, and the task was initiated by the Historical Archives, which are located in Florence. In 2018, the Publications Office took over this task, accordingly with the mandate to preserve all publications of the European institutions. We worked with different contractors that were in charge of providing this service. But in 2019, we decided that it could be better to get a tool that we could operate to get more flexibility on the selection of the seeds, scoping, and crawling. Then we became an archived partner. All the content we had captured since 2013 was compiled and ingested in the archive. Thanks to the help of Internet Archive, we integrated the historic archives existing in the Wayback Machine. We found material from 1996, and this was incorporated in 2020. By 2022, we intend to improve the Web Archives website by adding advanced search possibilities, filtering sub-collections, and providing multilingual access. In addition, we will create a system for the integration of Word files into our long-term repository, together with other archives in different formats to comply with the legal deposit commitment. Our main collection compiles the websites hosted on the Europe.eu domain. These 250 websites are captured at least 4 times a year. We also crawl pages by request, when the websites are going to be taken out or revamped. In these cases, we keep a final archive before the content disappears. The archive also gives access to single collections like Presit, publications in HTML format, websites dedicated to COVID-19, or websites created in the framework of the Horizon 2020 research programs. For every collection, we define a policy describing the content, the scope, the frequency of the crawls, and all the details. In the table, you can see the size of the different collections of the EU Web Archive. The biggest collection in number of documents is the European Union, because despite the reduced number of seats, for these specific websites, we capture all levels in all linguistic versions. The tool we use for web archiving is Archivit, an application provided by Internet Archive in 2006. The platform offers automatic tools for managing seats, for scoping and cataloging, with the possibility of ingesting metadata at the seat or collection level. It supports automatic crawling that can be scheduled, full text search, and hosting. There is a quality control system, and it is possible to download the Word files. The selection of content to be included in the scope of the Web Archive requires some reflection on the most appropriate archive formats for each type of content. For example, many databases, electronic publications, or multimedia items are already archived in our repository. So we need to take decisions about the best way to archive the different publications and adapt the scope of the seats to avoid duplications. The challenge is to connect the content archived in the different formats. Cityscoping is the process of setting parameters that define how much or how little the crawl captures. The first step is properly set the type of seat. This can be a standard, when the crawler follows the links and captures the embedded content, a standard plus when it also crawls the external links, one page if only the present page is captured, and one page plus when the first page of any URL linked is added. With the help of scoping rules, we can add limits, ignore robust TXT files, and expand or limit the scope by adding or blocking URLs that contain a specific text or match a regular expression. We always capture the websites in all the available languages. The fact that many of the websites are archived in 24 language versions brings along a number of challenges on harvesting and access. From the technical point of view, the main problem we find when capturing web pages in different versions is the language selector. Sometimes, even if the crawler is able to capture the multilingual content, this cannot be reached using the language selector or navigating the page. There are several solutions to this, and almost all of them involve collaboration with webmasters who must make modifications in the code. In the more difficult cases, we can also multiply the seats, creating one for each language version. Speaking about languages, I find interesting this graph, which analyzes the number of versions in which our web pages are published. The 41% of our websites are only available in English. These are the ones with content frequently updated or websites with a short lifespan. 30% of sites are in several language versions, usually in the working languages, English, French, and German, and in some more versions, normally Italian, Polish, or Spanish. The 39% of the archive is available in 23 or 24 language versions. Sometimes only in 23, because the Irish version used to take a bit longer in being incorporated. These are the websites dedicated to general information, those that include official documents and EU policies. Finally, the 7% of the sites are available in 25 or more versions, because their content goes beyond the borders of the European Union. This happens, for example, in topics as migration, culture, or environment. We can launch standard crawls that will save immediately the content capture, or test crawls that offer the option to check the result before saving the data. Crawls can be limited by number of documents, number of gigabytes, or time. We can launch crawls with a duration between 10 minutes and 30 days, so it depends on the number of seats involved. Once that the crawl comes to the end, it can be extended. There are two technologies available, the standard one based on Heritrix or Umbra, and Brussler that gives better results with dynamic content. We apply an strict quality control, mainly on the regular web archives. The limited size of the regular collection makes possible a wide and close quality control, so that we check carefully the crawl reports, we correct errors, and add missing documents when possible. We also have direct contact with the main website owners, what makes easy the communication to solve eventual problems. Another interesting functionality for the quality control is the crawl report that gives information about the number of documents captured, the information blocked, the type of files included in the archive, etc. Based on the information offered by this report, we can still complete the archive by adding missing documents that for any reason were not included in the first try. The Publications Office has a large experience in cataloging content and describing metadata in a multilingual way, so that every user in every member state can access the information in the language he or she prefers. We are currently working to complete a minimum set of metadata in the web archive with the help of multilingual tables. For this, we use EU vocabularies that are available in the Publications Office website. Controlled vocabularies are created to organize knowledge, harmonize content, and interchange metadata in the different languages. The application we use provides a number of Dublin core metadata elements by default, but of course we can introduce any other field to identify the seeds, and the metadata can be defined at the level of seed, collection, or document. The introduction of metadata is quite easy because it is possible to bulk import metadata from a table. Of course, we can also export the information in XML format. We have a web page hosted in the website of the Publications Office in which we provide general information on the EU Web Archive. This page will be replaced soon by a more complete website that will offer advanced search possibilities and will improve the access to the archive. This is how the public archive looks like. This is the landing page. And here you have an example of one of the archives pages of the European Commission website. This is all I wanted to share with you today. You can see in the slide the link to the public EU Web Archive and also my details. Do not hesitate in contacting me for any further information. Thank you very much for your attention.